Back in the day, before online streaming and subscription services, we used to visit physical places called video rental stores to rent our favorite movies and video games. Here's how it worked. The store had a wide selection of movies and games, and for a small fee, you could borrow a game for a couple of days. With the explosive growth of the internet, this traditional rental business model quickly became outdated. Today, people often complain about the high prices of video games, but they were never cheap. That's why rental shops were so popular back then. Instead of purchasing a game at full price, you could simply rent it for the weekend and return it before you get bored with it. Rental shops didn't have to pay royalties to game developers and publishers when renting out games. This arrangement made it a win-win situation for both the rental shops and customers. Unfortunately, it didn't benefit the game creators, and they noticed. Back in the late 80s, Nintendo, already a major player in the US video game market, saw the rental business as a threat to their profits. Nintendo's then chairman, Howard Lincoln, expressed frustration about spending millions of dollars creating games, yet not receiving royalties when the games were rented out repeatedly. The video rental companies exploit the thing, renting it out over and over again, hundreds and even thousands of times, and I get nothing. The guy who developed the game and Nintendo get screwed. Despite the legal operation of rental shops, it was clear that Nintendo wanted to find a way to address this issue. In the early 1980s, certain Japanese rental shops were making illegal copies of music and computer games and renting them out. However, Japanese music and software companies successfully lobbied for a change in the law, resulting in what was effectively a nationwide ban on music and video game rentals in Japan. A similar trend of renting computer software was starting to take hold in the US, which caught the attention of the Software Publishers Association, a group representing over 120 of the top software developers and publishers. They began lobbying Congress to pass a law prohibiting the rental of computer software. Nintendo, aligning itself with the Software Publishers Association, joined the effort to include video game rentals within the scope of the Computer Software Rental Amendments Act of 1990, the SPA's bill designed to outlaw computer software rentals. Nintendo's argument was straightforward. Video games are a form of software and should be subject to the same restrictions. Unfortunately for Nintendo, their efforts to prevent video game rentals were circumvented when a group called the Video Software Dealers Association, who represented the massive home entertainment industry, saw what Nintendo was trying to do. VSDA members included nearly 40,000 video rental shops, which would see a massive loss if Nintendo were to get their way. In turn, the VSDA and SPA came to an agreement to prohibit the rental of computer software, with one significant exception. The law must explicitly permit the rental of console games like the ones produced by Nintendo. The reasoning behind this was based on the belief that since computer software was stored on floppy disks, it could be easily duplicated, while console game cartridges posed a greater challenge for unauthorized copying. And just like that, Nintendo's legal complaints were settled. They had been left out of the bill and had inadvertently legitimized the billion-dollar industry it sought to destroy. Once it was clear that Nintendo would not be able to stop video game rentals, they filed a lawsuit against the nation's largest video rental chain, Blockbuster Video, for allegedly photocopying Nintendo's game instruction manuals. Blockbuster admitted to the violation and settled with Nintendo out of court. However, Blockbuster publicly criticized Nintendo's lawsuit, calling it a reflection of the frustration they feel at their inability to ban the rental of video games through congressional action. Nintendo's then spokesman, Richard Lindner, denied, however, that Nintendo was out to stop Blockbuster from renting games. Our intent is to protect our copyright. Any of our materials that we can protect, we will protect. We've determined that they're amongst the most widespread and flagrant violators. Anyone else whom we find using the same practice will be in a similar position. If you don't protect your copyright, eventually that will have an impact on your ability to maintain your copyright. The only thing Nintendo could do to combat rentals was to not sell their games directly to rental companies. Now, eventually they moved on to recognize the legitimacy of the rental business, and in a surprising turn of events, Nintendo even partnered with Blockbuster to produce exclusive Nintendo games, which have now become some of the most highly sought after and valuable games in existence. What do you guys think? You think Nintendo should have been able to ban rentals? Or do you think they had no business messing around with the second-hand market? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, and if you're into collecting retro games, you might want to check out this video where I talk about a new scam going around. I got pretty heated in this video. Thanks for your time today. Goodbye.